5 in 10 from Skywatch TV for Thursday, October 26th, 2023. I'm Derek Gilbert. A special program today as we bring you a guest who can shed some light on what it's like to live through what is happening in Israel right now. He is the founder and CEO of Lipkin Tours, and we are honored to call him our friend. Coming to us from Samaria, we welcome Aaron Lipkin to the program. Aaron, we Americans really don't have a sense of what it's like to live with an enemy like Hamas or Hezbollah or Palestinian Islamic Jihad right on our borders. I mean, what is life like for you and your family right now?
Well, October 7th was a terrible day for the Jewish people, for the state of Israel. If you ask people here what happened, they will use words like the Holocaust. They would use the word, the name Pearl Harbor or 9/11. It's so horrific that I'm not going to share with our viewers exactly what happened on that day, but just to say that there's a lot of information on the internet and people can access it. But horrific deeds were done against civilians, children, babies, women, pregnant women, old people. 222 people got kidnapped. Again, children, babies, mothers, and were taken into the tunnels of Gaza. And I think that, it's hard for me to put things in words, but this was a huge wake-up call for Israel and for many Israeli citizens. I think that in many ways, we fell asleep. These deeds are not new. These horrific actions by Muslims here in Israel are something that happened in our history in the past, since the 1930s. It's not something that is new, that we haven't experienced before. But I think that the magnitude of the October 7th terror attack is going to be affecting Israel from now on until eternity because of how terrible it was. The people of Israel are right now asking for the state of Israel to retaliate in a way that will, take this possibility away from any mind anywhere in the world. One of the foundations of the state of Israel is protecting Jews. It's saying never again after a Holocaust in Europe that took 6 million Jews, that killed 6 million Jews. The Israeli citizens are looking at their government and saying, what's going on? If more than 1,000 people got murdered, most of them civilians, and 222 were kidnapped. What's going on? Where is the mighty Israeli army? There are a lot of questions that are being asked. There are people that are blaming, depending on their original political view, blaming people in the government for doing this and are talking about what's going to happen after the war with the investigations that are going to be done to better understand what brought the Israeli government to such a failure. But everybody's saying we're not dealing with that now. What we're dealing with is waging war against a Islamic Nazi mindset. Now, I have to say, many people are saying Hamas this, Hamas that, Hamas, ISIS, and after we take Hamas down and destroy it, fully destroy it, that's exactly what the Israeli government is trying to do. We're still going to have a Nazi Islamic mindset. This is something, this is not a person. It's an idea. It's an ideology. It's a religion. And this is where the problem is, because how do you deal with that?
Waging war against an idea is next to impossible, as we Americans found out since 2001, as we decided to wage a global war on terror. You cannot wage a war against an idea or a concept because it will never, ever end. The divisions in Israel, we saw some of this when we were visiting back in March, and the protests were just beginning against the proposed judicial reform of Prime Minister Netanyahu. We talked about that in this program. The fact is, the judiciary in Israel is unchecked, unrestrained by a constitution. How has this event of October 7th changed relations between political left and right in Israel?
Well, I want to say that, when you're listening to the people talking on the news and the politicians and the people in the street, everybody's saying to each other, can you imagine that 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago we spoke about the judicial reform and the inner divisions, and now we're all united to take vengeance from Amalek, from the nation of Amalek, from these Islamic Nazis. And it's unbelievable. I mean, if you spoke to me 4 weeks ago, I would tell you that the inner divisions here in Israel, this rift between those that are against the national, just to say, make it clearer, those that are patriotic and those that are less patriotic or more universalist or globalist. This is basically the division inside Israel. These divisions, these controversies are no longer existent. They might be waiting under the ground after the war to be dealt with. But right now, all the people of Israel are united against the fight against evil. This is full evil, and evil needs to be fully eradicated. I have to tell you, though, that on a faith level, on a faith dimension, I'm asking myself, why does this happen? Why did God punish us, or why did God allow this to happen and not protect us from this terrible attack? And I'm not going to be God's spokesperson, but the Bible teaches us to ask ourselves questions to understand why things happen in history. And I believe that the events that happened in Israel in the past year, the inner division between Jews, the recent attacks against religious Jews praying and practicing their religion by atheist Jews, these things culminated on the week or 2 weeks prior to the attack, specifically on Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. And I believe that God said to himself, if these Jews are not going to be united, the Arabs will unite them. And this is what happened in the past 3 weeks. And but again, this is just my thoughts, and I can just tell you that right now we are all one against evil.
Well, as just to offer a Christian perspective, the Apostle Paul wrote that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, meaning our opponents are not human, but against supernatural intelligent evil, principalities, powers, cosmic rulers over this present darkness. And I think that's the only way you can explain the events that took place on October 7th, the things that the Hamas terrorists did to the citizens of places like Kfar Aza and the Be'eri and the Nova Music Festival. It's just beyond comprehension. It is literally inhuman, in my view. How long do you think this is going to last? The ground war that we've been waiting for in Gaza appears to have been delayed, and it's possible that the negotiations for the release of hostages is just a stalling tactic by Hamas and its sponsor in Qatar. But once this gets going, how long do you think this is going to last?
So the answer is I have no idea. I'm sure you would want me to be a news interpreter, but I think that myself and many other people in Israel have no idea what's going to happen in the next days, weeks, months. But let's talk about what we do know, and we know that Hamas is part of a larger organization of powers, which includes the other Iranian proxies, which is Hezbollah, the Houthis in Yemen, the militias in Syria and Iraq, and all the way at the top of the pyramid is Iran. And so all the plan, the original plan by the Iranians was to deploy all these forces, including Hamas in Gaza, at the same time against Israel, and to that way opening several fronts that would make it harder for Israel to defend itself and destroy and be victorious. And remember this, Israel cannot afford itself to lose any war. We have to be victorious in every war, because losing a war means the eradication or the destruction of the state of Israel.
Right.
So, and what happened was the Hamas in Gaza basically betrayed the Iranians by attacking without coordinating it with the Iranians. And the reason why they did that is because of that party, this dancing, this music festival that was on the border with Gaza, where thousands of Jews, of Israelis, were dancing and celebrating, and they knew that they had a chance to go in there and just massacre thousands or hundreds and wound people and kidnap them. So they basically went and did it without the approval of Iran. And now what's happening is that Iran is losing one of its proxies in Gaza, and Israel is I'm telling you, Israel is going to destroy Hamas. Hamas is not going to be in Gaza, and who's going to control Gaza? That's another question. We might discuss that in the future. But and what we're seeing is, we're seeing the Western countries, including the United States, Germany, Italy, France, basically creating this this military force that's joining Israel in order to deter Iran and the rest of the proxies from attacking Israel. So the question is, when, if at all, will the other proxies join the fight? And in some ways they already have. And will Iran join as well? So what we're talking about is a possible escalation to a regional war, and you know what? Maybe even a world war, because we're talking about the Western world led by the United States versus Iran, Russia, China, and other notorious countries. So, we have no idea where it's going to. All we know is that the ground assault is imminent. Imminent could be in the next few days, but it could be later on, because Israel might decide to also destroy the Iranian threat on our northern border with Hezbollah and take them down as well. It might be done before even the ground assault in Gaza. But we have to understand that what we have on our northern border is 100 times more dangerous than Hamas, and so keeping our eyes open, and the Israeli army is in its full preparation mode for anything, and we have to pray hard that God will make us victorious over our enemies, because We are here for a reason. The State of Israel was established in 1948 for a reason. The exiles were gathered all from all corners of the earth for a reason. We're just humans. We don't know what God is planning.
Right. We pray that for the peace of Jerusalem. We pray for you, your family, your friends, your colleagues there at Lipkin Tours. Pray that we will be able to return to Israel on schedule in the spring of 2024, but we look forward to returning whenever it's possible. And we are especially thankful now that we had the opportunity to see what we saw in the spring of this year, which now some of the areas that are on the front lines of the war zone. In fact, the archaeologist who we spent a day with now deployed with his reserve unit. It's just astonishing to see how quickly things turn. And then we look at the scriptures and see things like Psalm 83, and we see Zechariah describing Jerusalem as a cup of staggering, a cup of trembling for the nations. We know the day is coming, but we pray that we're not here to have to endure it and live through it. Aaron Lipkin on the ground in Samaria. And Aaron, we look forward to seeing you face to face again sooner rather than later.
Thank you, Derek. And we're feeling the support. We're feeling the prayers. Keep doing that. Keep supporting Israel. And I hope to meet again soon in Israel or in the States.
Some final thoughts coming up as 5 and 10 continues after this.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to make sure you know how you can get your copy of this incredible new book in the Before Genesis Master Collection. When you order the Before Genesis Master Collection from the skywatchtvstore.com, you'll receive the brand new book, Before Genesis, The Unauthorized History of Tohu, Bohu, and the Chaos Dragon in the Land Before Time by Dr. Thomas Horn and Donna Howell. In this phenomenal new work, you'll learn about the debate raging between the Old Earth and the Young Earth creationist groups, what the Earth was like during the without form and void era of Genesis 1-2, how ancient archaeological sites like Göbekli Tepe and the Doorway of the Serpent point to an intelligent race of beings on Earth alive before the time of Adam and under Lucifer's fallen influence. And for the first time ever, the conclusion to the events of Genesis that merges all contributing voices from not only the young and old creationist groups, but the scientific community as well, into one balanced and agreeable climax. But that's not all. You'll also receive the amazing DVD, What Lies Beneath, The Lost Secrets of the Watchers Below Göbekli Tepe, featuring archaeologist and author Dr. Aaron Judkins and best-selling author Derek Gilbert as they reveal Göbekli Tepe's historical use as a place of watchers worship, the evidence of a cult that venerated human skulls and reptilian creators, and the links between the god of Göbekli Tepe and the Bible. Also included in this must-have master collection are the digital, downloadable e-book versions of the Earth's earliest ages, Unearthing the Lost World of the Cloud Eaters, and the Apocrypha, including the Book of Enoch. These 3 masterpiece works will be available for download immediately when you place your order for the Before Genesis Master Collection and are being included in this offer absolutely free. All of these items hold a retail value of over $85. Yours now for your donation of only $35 plus shipping and handling. So don't delay. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Before Genesis Master Collection right now.
It may sound like hyperbole to describe Hamas as a Nazi Islamic organization, but the fact is that Hamas is an offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood, which began in the 1920s after the dissolution of the Ottoman Empire. The Caliphate, when it dissolved, was succeeded by the Muslim Brotherhood, which is dedicated to restoring the Caliphate. It was basically an educational and political organization until the late 1930s. With the rise of Hitler and Nazi Germany, suddenly the Muslim Brotherhood began to get more political. And by political, we mean literally training with the SS and essentially becoming an offshoot of the SS. So yes, describing the Hamas and its aims as Nazi is not hyperbole. It is, in fact, historically accurate. Aaron Lipkin lives, as I mentioned, in Samaria. It's what the world calls the West Bank. Their community is about 25 minutes away from Jerusalem. And the community of Ofra is served currently by an aging ambulance system. Now, if you live in rural America, you can understand what I'm talking about. We are about 30 minutes away from the nearest hospital, but we do have an ambulance service that is 12 minutes away in the town of Crane. But even that, when you're having a medical emergency, can be the difference between life and death. If you're waiting for an ambulance to arrive from Jerusalem, 25 minutes, that's in good traffic, by the way, which is not always the case on the roads in Israel, just as they are here in the United States. So the community of Ofra is crowdfunding for an ambulance to replace the aging ambulance, which is due to go out of service in about a month. If you're looking for some way you can do something tangible to help the people of Israel during this conflict with Hamas, check the show notes below this program, whether you're watching it on the Skywatch TV mobile app, YouTube at 5 and 10, or wherever. And there'll be a link to the crowdfunding campaign that is being coordinated by Aaron Lipkin and the team at Lipkin Tours. You will go to a page where normally people will register, put down deposit money, and pay for their tours of Israel. But if you click the link that says donation and then add a note that this is for the ambulance in Ofra, again, that's spelled O-F-R-A, you can help contribute for the medical needs of the community there. That is about 30 minutes away from Jerusalem, and again, may mean the difference between life and death. And of course, we pray that none of those medical emergencies arise due to conflict, but even just in the course of everyday life, at some point, you, me, people all over the world will suffer a medical emergency, and having access to hospital transportation right there in the village will be a true blessing. Skywatch TV depends on your support to do what we do, and that is to fund the work at Whispering Ponies Ranch. You can find out more about the work there at whisperingponiesranch.com. A few days yet to take advantage of this offer, our special gift for your donation of any amount during the month of October, if you're in the U.S. or Canada. The book Ebenezer. It's a novel by Donna Howell, who is a gifted and brilliant writer, picking up the story of Ebenezer Scrooge after Christmas. How was his life permanently changed? If you're in the U.S. or Canada, when you donate during the month of October, we'll send you a copy of the book as our thank you. No minimum. You can find out more at our website, skywatchtv.com. Look for the red donate button, or call us toll-free during regular business hours at 844-750-4985. Archaeologists call Göbekli Tepe the oldest temple in the world. There are some who believe that this site, which was apparently used by thousands of people for hundreds of years, was not a community. It was not a dwelling place. It was not a town, a village, or it was strictly a cult center. How does this fit into the biblical timeline of history? That's our discussion this week on Skywatch TV. These series of programs, 6 programs about the book Before Genesis by Donna Howell, the last programs we recorded with Dr. Tom Horn. You can watch the program right now at our website, skywatchtv.com. If you want to watch over the air on your favorite Christian television network, our broadcast schedule for the over-the-air broadcast posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. It's available right now on our Roku and Apple TV channels, or better yet, download our free mobile app to your smartphone or tablet. That gets all of our video content right to you. The main program, the women's program, Simply His, these daily news updates, and more. Other features like an audio Bible with multiple translations, news updates 3 times a week, and more. Whether you're carrying an iOS, Android, or Amazon Kindle Fire phone or tablet, we have an app for that. And we've got links to those app stores for the app at our website, skywatchtv.com. You'll find the link in the top menu bar at the website. Thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.